Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Tech Trends Symposium 2020, the Future of Intelligence Connectivities, which is organized by the Hong Kong Trade Development Council, HKTDC, and jointly co-organized by HKEIA, Hong Kong Electronic Industry Association, HKEIC, Hong Kong Electronic Industry Council, and VTC, Vocational Training Council, on the occasion of the HKTDC Summer Sourcing Weeks Go Online. Some overseas friends may know me, or some of you may not. My name is Alan. I am so happy to have a chance to be the moderator of today's seminar. As an adjunct professor of CUHK and CTU, I teach AI and IoT courses. So today it's my honor to be the moderator of today's section. And the landscape of the Internet of Things has been changing rapidly, and the power of the artificial intelligence devices are not only getting connected, but also getting smarter and intelligent. So what comes next when the Internet of Things empowered by the AI? With this question in mind, we have three panel speakers joining us at this section of the symposium under the theme of AIoT for intelligent living. I am so glad to have invited friends of mine joining us to the panel speakers, and they are Dr. Jonathan Tang, Lead Consultant, APEX R&D Center, Hong Kong Productivity Council, HKPC. We have Ms. Grace Yip, Electronic Engineer, Electrical and Mechanical Services Department, EMSD, and Mr. Yun-Hei Chuck, Deputy Design Director, TCL Corporate Research. Just a quick note to our fellow audience that simultaneous interpretation in Putonghua is available. And throughout the section, if you have any questions in mind for the speaker, please feel free to share in the Q&A box too. Without further ado, I would like to first invite Dr. Jonathan Tang, Lead Consultant of HKPC, to give us a share on how 5G brings AIoT to the next level of intelligence. Jonathan, over to you, please.
Thank you, Alan. Good morning. So today I'm going to talk about 5G IoT. And I'm first talk about the cellular technology evolution, and then I will provide some example use cases, and then I will share some 5G and smart transportation related projects at Hong Kong PC, and I will end the presentation with some information about the Hong Kong PC 5G IoT testbed. Okay, the technology evolution. The first generation, the AIMS, which is based on analog, and it was designed for basic voice. And if you have seen it before, the mobile handset is very big in size, and or relatively very big in size compared to the current mobile handset. And it looked like a water bottle, and actually, people at that time, they actually call it water bottle because it's based on the technology in analog. So that's why the performance and also the security, some people have complaints about it. And around 10 years later, we have this second generation. There were lots of different standards for the second generation mobile technology. For example, like in GSM, mainly for the European countries, and CDMA, for the America. And in Hong Kong, we basically have both systems, but majority are using GSM network. GSM is digital based, so that's why all these digital signal processing, echo cancellation, or error correction, are possible. And with this, digital signal processing, all these performance or even security, can be significantly improved. And GSM, at that time, especially a lot of startup, a lot of SME, technology company in southern part of China, they are, doing this GSM technology implementation, design work, and they come up with all this, standard design. And, for GSM, that's why you can, buy some very, low cost GSM module. And in my opinion, GSM is very good for IoT, especially if your application is related to voice, no matter whether it's one-way or two-way voice, GSM is a good solution for it. For one of the impact, in particular for 5G, today we talk about 5G is, some of the GSM frequency spectrum have to give way to, 5G, and that's why, even if you can buy the GSM module right now, you do not have, any network coverage. So basically, with the 5G deployment, GSM, IoT, is phasing out. And then we have 3G. 3G is more for internet access. It's a digital base for voice and data. And, it's got a better bandwidth, better time latency. And, because the IoT time, when the time of 3G design is not yet, come out. So that's why, 3G is not enough for quite some application for IoT. So, we have the 4G. 4G, is designed for data and voice. And basically, voice is only one of the applications. And so that's why, 4G is so good for data transmission for IoT. And 4G is designed for IPv6. And also especially, when the market, when the industry introduced, all this NB-IoT, LTE, M, is a good solution for a lot of IoT applications. But, when you are using, this kind of technology, this kind of module, be sure you have, enough coverage for this technology. And then currently we have the 5G. For 5G we have better bandwidth, better data rate, and also latency. So, we have more information on 5G later. So IoT is Internet of Things, and IoT device is, for any device that is able to communicate with each other or the Internet. IoT device, collect and process data, and currently IoT device basically is shifting to the IoT ecosystem or the IoT network. IoT network, create an intelligence. And artificial intelligence is, data collect and process data, make decision, and act on that data without involvement by human. So, when you have the AI, basically AI can be run in edge computing locally, in the locally board, or can be run, in cloud. We call it cloud computing. So when you pick the cloud computing with 5G connectivity, then you can enjoy this kind of 5G characteristic like low energy, high density, high capacity, high data rate, strong security, and high latency. So if you are using 5G cloud computing, then 5G IoT can unleash cloud computing and also unleash the AI. So here I'm going to provide some 5G use cases. Some of the examples are smart farming. On the field that you have a lot of sensors, to collect a lot of data, and then you can have the automated truck. And also you have the other example is the digitized education, this VR, AR stuff. And you have the connected healthcare, real-time diagnosis and treatment of patients everywhere, and also the AI ability to assist with data processing and analytics, also more accurate modeling. This kind of information, can help the medical profession, to do the diagnosis and also the treatment. And you have the smart factory, when you IoT, different devices, and you get a lot of data from it, and you do some sort of, modeling, data analysis there. You even can, predict what's going to happen, and this kind of predict maintenance, can be happen for 5G IoT. And then you have the connected smart city. Two of the examples are smart street lamp and also smart prison. I'm going to have some information later. And better venture experience, ticketing and indoor navigation, smart parking, etc. And then, for the container port, for the logistic field industry, and then you can have this, automated truck, and the smart airport, smart transportation, and also the public safety as well. So here, you see this page present, some of the performance requirements for some of the examples, the connected living, the smart transportation, and connected living, and the media and entertainment sector. Okay, here is the connected healthcare. So, for a typical IoT system, you have the sensor. You collect a lot of data, and you have this cloud computing, for AI, some data processing, graphical presentation, and also you have the service. Okay, so sensor can be installed in your house. We call it aging in place. For example, imagine a drone test environment. You can put all these sensors, inside your house, inside your home, and then to capture, some of the important data. And this sensor can also, installed in, for example, like the elderly home, or even in, some medical center, hospital. And then you have the cloud computing to give you some, some analytic results, some graphical data, or even some AI machine-to-machine interaction. And from the experience, we found that if only the sensor and also the cloud computing is not enough, because user they're expecting more. They're expecting some sort of impact. What I'm trying to say is if you are measuring some sort of medical data, for example, like your blood pressure, they are expecting not just a graphical presentation. They are expecting some impact. Some people they care about it, and some people they may provide some advice. So that's why we have another category like the service that needed for this ecosystem. This service can be a service center in a professional medical center. The medical professional can provide some advices, and also doing some diagnosis or even treatment. And this service center can be a telephone call center when they receive some of the emergency call, or when they monitor the data from captured from your home, and then they may give you some warning or some advice. And this service center can be any care giver, so that they can provide some sort of caring for you, or this service can be even your family member. And this is an example of connected smart city, and smart street lamp is one of the examples. The smart street lamp can capture a lot of important information, like traffic condition, or what sort of environment nearby. This kind of information can provide a lot of meaningful and useful data to do some action about it. And this the other example for the especially for the public buses speeding. This one is for the speed limiter. That's to say, when the driver traveling or driving his bus. It's got some sort of, geofencing technology using the GNSS positioning to locate, where is the bus, and then identify what's the speed limit at that section of the road, and if the bus is speeding, and there's some sort of mechanism, using the IoT data interaction to control the bus speed to avoid the bus speeding. Okay, so when you talk about the smart transportation, I have one more page before. Okay, this one is the automated vehicle. This is the development platform. In the vehicle, you have many different kind of sensor, like the lidar, the camera. For sure, the processing CPU. This kind of computation for the computational power. And this is a platform. It means that you are very welcome if you have any project and other development build on top of it, or cooperate with it, or we can have some sort of collaborative project and doing this V2X or V2I or V2P this kind of activities together. And we have the test bed in Science Park and also in the Hong Kong PC building to do a trial run. And this for the teleoperation. Because for some application teleoperation is necessary, and this teleoperation actually the driver is not necessarily sitting inside the vehicle, but instead is sitting somewhere else, and for example in the driving or control center. With this teleoperation, you can control the brake, the steering, and also the speed. We call it drive-by-wire. Okay, so this also another teleoperation example for some automated vehicle in example container park or in the construction site. And also the platooning operation. For a team of vehicle, and this is the automated driving. For this kind of application, only the driver at the beginning in the first one. He's driving the vehicle, and all the others, using computer technology, AI technology, and also the real-time monitoring technology, and just follow, and they can do other thing else. So before I mentioned about a very large vehicles. This is some example for also a small machinery, like this one we call it mini mover. It's automated, also enabling automated driving, and this can do a lot of different application. For example, like monitoring, or even electronic wheelchair. This is also possible. Okay, so this for smart transportation, and you have this V2I, vehicle to infrastructure, immersion. You have a lot of sensor in the traffic lights, and this sensor will collect data and process the data, and also pass the data to the driver in the vehicle to give you what's going on in the environment surrounding you. And also we have the V2V, mainly for the safety, vehicle to vehicles. The machine can communicate to each other. And also you have the V2P, a vehicle to pedestrian. So the people outside can communicate with the driver inside the car. And with Hong Kong PC, we have a 5G test bed, and also with 5G installation and air and network coverage. So you see, the test bed, we have the 5G coverage right now, and we are planning to install the Wi-Fi 6 as well. And we have the test bed both indoor and outdoor. And if you are doing development, you need some sort of security for your data. We also have consultancy and also support for data security. And if your product, needs some sort of testing, for example, like EMC testing, we can also provide the support. And cloud computing, if you want to focus on your domain knowledge area, we can provide the cloud computing API so that you can, accelerate your development or, doing some pre-trial test run before you actually implement your own cloud computing server. And also we have a department, focusing on the patent application. If your application is involving some IP, and then we can help you and support you to do that. And also, we have a lot of funding scheme, and we can help you to apply, the various funding scheme in the industry and also in the government. And for sure, if you for some domain knowledge you want to know more about it, we can provide some training, and we can also join together to do some promotion. And so if you are doing some development, in particular on 5G, IoT in all levels, we are welcome you to contact Hong Kong PC, and also we can open our test bed for you to do a free trial run. So this presentation slide ends my presentation.
Okay, thanks, Jonathan. So while we get to know the power of 5G communication and AIoT, it is also very important to see if there is any applications of AIoT in Hong Kong too. So once again, the symposium is conducted in English with simultaneous interpretation in Putonghua. And throughout the seminar, please don't be shy and share your questions or any idea in the Q&A box. I know there are some people, they got some problem of the mic, and also the screen is not that clear. So our panel member, please bring your mic closer so that everybody can hear clearly, okay? And so let's invite the next speaker, Ms. Grace Yip, Electronic Engineer of EMSD, to share smart application with Internet of Things. Over to you, Grace.
Yeah. Good morning. I would like to thank the organizer HKTDC for inviting EMSD to share with you some smart IoT applications that we are working on. First of all, let me have a brief introduction of EMSD for you. We are Electrical and Services Department, Electrical and Mechanical Services Department under the Hong Kong government. We have over 5,000 staff, and we have two major roles. One is our regulatory service to ensure the operation safety of electrical, gas installation, railway, lift, escalator, and etc. On the other hand, we are also providing engineering services for over 100 government departments and public organizations, including the operation and maintenance of over 5,000 government premises and EMN facilities such as office, schools, fire stations, hospitals, etc. In order to provide our customer a better service experience, EMSD formulated a 5-year strategic plan to strive for a new vision called E&M 2.0. One strategic goal is to digitize our E&M asset to enhance the operation efficiency and customer service through remote monitoring and data analytics. And ultimately, we would like to achieve predictive maintenance and upgrade the E&M assets to their optimal operating conditions. So how can we digitize the E&M assets? We consider the use of IoT, Internet of Things, which has been a very hot topic in recent years. But in fact, IoT has a very broad meaning in a way to interconnect digital device or computer device to transfer data over the network. The focus of my presentation will be the adoption of low power wide area network, LPWAN technologies in developing smart applications. The good things of LPWAN is that its transmission is of low power and long range up to 7 kilometers. And most of the sensors are battery operated and then easy for installation. But we also need to take note its transmission characteristic of having low throughput and relaxed requirements in terms of the device responsiveness. So in 2018, we conducted trial projects of 3 common IoT LPWAN technologies, LoRa, Sigfox, and NB-IoT at EMSD headquarters to test their performance of data communications. We installed sensors for collecting the room occupancy, car park occupancy, temperature, humidity, air quality data at offices, meeting room, and car park. While with the collected data, we also developed some smart facilities management applications, such as the smart meeting room, smart car park system for optimizing the usage of smart car park, the meeting room facilities. We also developed smart toilet applications to monitor the cubicle occupancy, E&M equipment status, air quality, to improve the toilet hygiene and management. So here is a video extract from a TV show which introduced the smart toilet at EMSD headquarters.
機電署同其他機構合作研發咗智能洗手間同儲物櫃，以及係停車場系統。杜廣林講下。
走入呢個由機電署研發嘅智能廁所，只要望下天花板啲燈，有人用緊就會由綠色變成紅色，唔使逐格睇。唔想去到門口先知要排長龍，可以先開呢個 app 睇下有冇位。殘疾人士亦可以預約廁所。廁所太臭，風扇、吹風機壞咗，甚至有冇廁紙，清潔同管理公司透過平板電腦就知道。
So apart from installing sensors for collecting the operation status of toilets, we are also enhancing our application so that our staff can check the occupancy of toilets in the building so as to divert the people flow to the less crowded toilets. While we conducted the trial at our EMSD headquarters, later on we start to think about how we can connect IoT sensors in various locations cost effectively. That's why we come up with an idea to build a government-wide IoT network. We call it GWIN. In 2019, we started to conduct a regional trial on developing GWIN based on the LoRa technologies. We installed LoRa gateway to build a private network for the deployment of wireless IoT sensors. The data collected can be further used for developing various smart applications and achieve E&M digitalization. In our trial, we also make use of software tools for network planning. We can input the gateway location and configuration in the software to simulate the achieved outdoor coverage. And the software can also support optimizing the gateway locations and quantities based on a specific coverage requirement. We also conducted field tests at the Wangshack Water Sports Center, setting up a gateway there, and then we do the field test. We measure the actual signal strength, signal coverage of the gateway as compared with the simulation results. And actually we find that the simulation results are quite aligned with the field test results, and the coverage can be up to 4.85 kilometers line of sight. We firstly deploy our GWIN at Sha Tin District, installing 35 gateways and achieve 78% outdoor LoRa coverage. We installed those gateways at government premises such as office, the footbridge, fire stations, and water surface reservoir. And in last year, we further extend our trial to Kowloon East District. We installed 16 gateways covering over 50% of the region, and the deployment is still in progress, and we are installing more gateways to enhance the coverage. While the deployment of GWIN, we install IoT sensors to digitize our E&M equipment for smart building management. So here is a video introducing our trial in one of the clinics in Hong Kong.
Digitalization of electrical and mechanical E&M equipment is one of the strategic goals in the second five-year plan of EMSD. Internet of Things technology is applied to achieve E&M 2.0 in order to provide value-added service for clinics and hospitals. Testing sites include Yun Chau Kok General Outpatient Clinic and Pamela Yoda School Dental Clinic in Sha Tin. Since there is no resident staff for maintenance in these two testing sites, for the air-cooled chillers there, current transformer and dry contact sensor were deployed to remotely collect equipment's running states, modes, and fault alerts. Data is transmitted through GWIN to EMSD's terminal, thereby achieving near real-time remote monitoring. Equipment data is clearly shown on the dashboard. It's easier for our staffs to obtain the equipment condition and therefore facilitated their daily maintenance work.
So the venue we selected for trial are unattended and without remote monitoring of the E&M system. Therefore, our maintenance staff can go on site for checking when a fault signal is detected through the installation of IoT sensors. Other than the trial at clinics, we also install sensors for monitoring the operation status of footbridge, lighting and lift car, swimming pool equipment, ventilation fan in public transport interchange, as well as PV system. Sensor data collected through IoT sensor can be further analyzed to achieve predictive maintenance. This is another trial project to install LoRa vibration sensors for collecting the vibration data from E&M equipment such as air fan, chiller, and pumps. The sensor has edge processing power to self-learn the vibration pattern of the equipment and then provide an alert signals when detecting any abnormal vibration. Apart from E&M digitalizations, we also explore smart city applications with other government departments based on this common infrastructure GWIN. One project is with the Drainage Service Department on Smart Drainage Project flood monitoring. We install wireless water level sensors at strategic locations to monitor the water level and provide pre-alert for flooding. So here is a video introducing why we adopt IoT and what the benefits provided by using IoT sensors.
Along with the change of climate, extreme weathers bring more severe and frequent threat, which pose new challenges to flood prevention works. In early 2019, DSD and EMSD cooperated to implement a smart drainage flood monitoring system. Innovative technology, GWIN, and new sensors were deployed to monitor the changes of water level throughout the territory. New system breaks the limit of traditional hydrological station. The installation work of conventional sensor is more time-consuming and costly, such as road digging and electrical cable laying. It is easier to deploy IoT sensors powered by batteries. Within 2 months, sensor installation in 10 new spots were completed before the typhoon season. Water level can be monitored in times of typhoons and rainstorms, and contingency planning can be formulated in a more effective way. By utilizing EMSD's GWIN, DSD can deploy more water level monitoring spots in a short time. In the future, we hope to utilize big data analytics to enhance the existing water level alert system and protect the lives and properties. This cooperation is a huge success. We hereby thank the EMSD.
So you can see from this video the adoption of IoT sensor is more cost-effective and time-saving as compared to the traditional sensor installation. So to further explore the benefits, we conducted other trials based on GWIN. On air quality monitoring, we installed sensors nearby the sewage treatment facilities to detect the hydrogen sulfide, methane, and carbon monoxide level in the air. The data can be used to evaluate the impact to the air quality due to the sewage treatment operation. And other than environmental monitoring, we also conducted trial on asset tracking. We installed LoRa trackers on sludge container so that our operator can manage the sludge container movement and their usage between the sludge treatment facilities. And you can see the map at the center of this slide showing the historical location of sludge container in a certain period of time. GWIN can also be used for data transmission of the rain gauge data. You can see that it is a trial set up to install LoRa pulse counter to collect the rain gauge data from an existing sensor. We are also conducting trial on the environmental monitoring. We install LoRa weather stations to collect the micro weather information in a relatively small area, such as within a park. The sensor we use in this trial is battery operated, and so we don't need any additional electrical installations. While I had introduced some smart IoT applications under GWIN, we find that one of the keys to a successful trial is to select a suitable sensor to meet the user requirement. We source suitable sensor in the market as well as design the sensor installation based on different scenarios. In fact, we find that in the market there are quite a lot of sensors available for choosing. However, in some cases, just like the one I mentioned on rain gauge, there are already existing sensors being deployed on site. In this case, we either retrofit the existing sensor to be LoRa enabled, or we connect some LoRa device to the existing sensor based on standard interface. We also collaborate with university and R&D partners for developing solutions based on our requirements. For example, we engaged Chinese university to design a special antenna to enhance the signal strength of sensor device installed under the manhole. This antenna can be used to support the sensor installation for applications such as a water pipe flow level to detect the water leakage. We are also working with PolyU to adopt GWIN for the deployment of tree monitoring sensors. Gateways were installed in PolyU for them to connect the sensors to our network. Apart from working with university, we are also collaborating with Hong Kong Science Park on their Sensor Hub program. It is a supporting platform and testbed for pilots and trials of sensor devices at Science Park. Under this program, EMSD has installed LoRa Gateway at Science Park to encourage the park companies and I&T companies to design new sensor solutions for smart government and smart city applications. We hope that the deployment of GWIN can help cultivating an IoT ecosystem, creating business opportunity for local startups as well as small and medium-sized enterprise. In summary, government IoT network is a co-owned, co-shared infrastructure not only help to realize E&M digitalization for EMSD, but also enable government departments to develop smart city applications, facilitating the construction of smart city. That's it for my presentation. Thank you.
Thanks, Grace, for your sharing. And besides the public sector's application of AIoT, the commercial sector has been working hard in enabling the AIoT ecosystem as well. So before inviting Mr. Yunhei Chuck, Deputy Design Director of TCL Corporate Research, to share with us, once again, I would like to remind our fellow audience that the symposium is conducted in English with a simultaneous interpretation in Putonghua. And don't be shy to share your questions or idea in the Q&A box too. And just one kind reminder, hey, you can put your mic closer so that our audience can hear closely. And without further ado, let me invite Hey to share with us on the topic of from IoT to AIoT, how commercial demands drive intelligent ecosystem. The stage is now yours. Hey, thank you.
Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Hey, the Deputy Design Director in TCL Research. I'm actually come from a design area and now working for research and considering how to implement every research result to product. And let's see, sorry. Oops. So let's talk about TCL. What about TCL? We are a company over 38 years, and we connect with the user over 900 million users, and our revenue more than 70 billion. Okay. TCL major launching the TV product and mobile product, and not only that, also the kind of home appliances. Is a very big company. So
Hey, louder please.
Okay. Okay, this is a very major slogan in TCL Group now. We call it the third curve. What is that? Is that for manufacturing competition, we separate three different stages. Firstly, when we producing a product, it may be focusing on the productivity, the product quality and reliability, all about the power of manufacturing. And but the product itself, maybe it is not for a long-term competitive only by this level. So after that, we will face on the second curve. It means internet or like the content provider, especially in our TV product. Concrete say that is that we are not just providing a very good quality screen, slim or like a good course product, TV product. But the past 10 years around, every TV competitor can defeat our business. So we start to the second curve. All the TV products have to be enhanced with a very strong content and service. So we can say the battlefield come to hardware and software, all about talking about the core traffic and gateway, how many content your product can support. But what's the next? The next, we call it the third curve, is about AI, IoT. IoT will be a big topic for TCL. TCL is all the business is driven by this AI times IoT. And we forecast this is not only the factor by hardware, software, but also the connectivity and intelligence and integration. From AI plus IoT to AI times IoT, this is this year very big slogan in TCL also. In the past, we already set up and we have a very good foundation for the IoT product for the connectivity, we think. So it's the time to integrate everything to a very complete AI ecosystem. So this is our aim. I can introduce these three levels in details. For IoT product, firstly, we focus on the connectivity. I will make use of a product, dehumidifier. When IoT product start, we focus in, we have host IoT device at home, and the device have to connect everything to internet. But for the user value, at that moment, actually we can say it only the remote switch on or remote control. It means your product connect everything and connect to internet, and you can just using your smartphone to control the product far away, okay? But the second step, what means the second step is interaction. We need more sensor. We need some decided scenario. Okay, we come to the scenario again. We go through different exhibition like CES in USA or the IFA in Berlin. All the brand we talk about this story, how you have a connected IoT ecosystem at your home. It's so easy to access all the product. For example, when I just after work, I'm getting back to my home. Every sensor will know I'm getting back to home. During the connectivity status, I can only say when I'm not at home, I can just remote control everything by my mobile app. Maybe switch on my air conditioner or warmer. Okay. But the second stage is talking about all the data come together. AI is all about detection and analysis. So we based on the well-developed connection for all the product, we can start working on decided scenario. For example, my car going back to my home. I'm driving my car going back to my home, or my mobile phone use of my GPS data and my home appliances all know that I'm getting back. So it can prepare well. For example, the air conditioner turn it on before I get home half an hour, etc. But there's a problem here, still have problem here, is that all the scenario is decided by human. So I can say that IoT business in this stage only from connectivity to a better interaction, and all the brand is talking about this story. From commercial side, IoT is a work to easy to understand Internet of Things, but let's consider about for every different small scale or big scale factory, who can be the one to build up the whole ecosystem for every home appliances to make this ecosystem. This is so difficult. Even TCL, we have TV, we have mobile phone, and all many products. Our competitor, even they don't have a TV product. How can they join into this area? So it's so obvious to know that like some AI company like Google and Amazon, they will provide many of service to connect every home appliances solutions. So finally, that is not just one player. You can complete the ecosystem. Even though we have a very good collaboration and connection across a different brand, for example, I'm using the Amazon Alexa to be my AI core device at home, and connecting my LG air conditioner, my cooker, okay, my washing machine, whatever. It's really difficult for single product to create any like decided scenario. So finally, it's come back to just a remote control or some little bit convenience. Okay. So TCL is know that we are focusing on this problem. We are trying to build up a very complete ecosystem by many kind of products with different category: personal, home, lodge, and even park. Let's talk about the first stage. The first stage, I can bring up a slogan first, is about AI make decision before human awareness. AI make decision before human awareness. We go back to this example, the humidifier. We will turning on this device when we're feeling the humidity is too high, we're feeling uncomfortable. But this is actually by a sensor. This means our skin. Our skin knows that this is feeling uncomfortable, or I aware that all my home is becoming sticky, wet, so we need it. Even though in the second stage, maybe we connect some user behavior, because I'm using this machine yesterday, so suppose I need it today, or using the weather data to know that, to make this decision to turn it on. But this is finally is not like a AI decision maker. So the next step, TCL is putting many resources to enhance our AI power, using our huge data. We connect with many users, a huge number of users, to set up this target to make AI making decision. Finally, if we can reach this goal, we can provide not only an AI time IoT ecosystem, but also the product, AI product, can provide a very initiative service to user. This is our goal. Okay. TCL is a very, I can say, lucky company. Maybe not many people know that TCL is the first factory to make Android TV. As I mentioned before, AI powered device as a IoT host at home is really important, and it's actually the core factor. Is it can build a good ecosystem at home. The AI company, Google, Amazon, Apple, they are intentionally, it's also obvious, they are making the AI speaker and sell to user to put it at home and try to open all the gateways to make to make it work. But TCL, we only have one focus. We put everything in our TV. So not only we are developing every product with the connectivity ability, and we're enhancing all the innovation and user experience, but we are developing a very good AI TV, not only for a TV product, but also we hope that can be a very brilliant AI core product for everyone at home. So again, the problem, if just a home appliances brand, they are not making kind of like AI speaker or TV. Actually, it's quite hard to build this kind of ecosystem. Here I will go through something TCL launched this year, but not detailed. We separate 4 categories: T-Home, T-Life, T-Lodge, and T-Park. For T-Home, for example, like air conditioner or refrigerator, of course we have TV, and the smart lock, door lock, the washing machine, and this is kind of at the bottom. The small stuff actually is what I say. We can put every sensor to a traditional product and make it and delegate a connectivity or the intelligent power to the traditional product. Okay, T-Life. Many of the lady product, I'm actually not really know the lady product use of. I'm sorry. T-Lodge is a total solution, not only like in a lodge, also like the hotel room or some small space. We are not only producing the home appliances product and every product, but also TCL have plan on the cloud service. So in this solution, we have the face recognition security system for door lock. Not only for the door lock, but if we can connect this kind of cloud service, every data like to connect the electronic product like TV and light at home is very useful. So from lodge to park is actually from a small scale to a more bigger scale. TCL is providing this kind of service. Okay, I will make good. So this is a product metrics. You can see TCL intentionally planning it with a very clear roadmap from home, personal, small room to community. IoT is a very, very big blueprint. It included many kind of different product and system. I think for commercial companies, it's not easy if we can only provide a single product to set it up. So let's see the TCL metrics. And I will briefly introduce the smart TV in this year because as I mentioned before, the TV, especially the AI smart TV, is very important part of this ecosystem. So TCL is also major focus on this product. So this year we launched a new product. Can I play the video? So this theory come from a very interesting story. Our boss from the very beginning is just telling every user, every TV user, they just lying on their sofa with their smartphone, but in front of them have a big screen TV. How can we provide a more interest TV for the user to giving up their smartphone on hand, but focusing on the TV? So finally, I make use of this with my user experience design team to make this product. Finally, it comes with a camera, with a different camera function to make it enhance on different AI function, like for example, the skeleton detection to provide user a posture detection application, like a dreaming at home, yoga at home, to know the user pose is right or not, or the other function like the video call by TV. But this is not what I focus, but the camera will be a sign in TCL TV or other smart TV. The TV will become more and more intelligent. Camera is just a sign, because it means the TV become the ability from computer vision to know more about the user, and we hope that we can make use of this kind of ability in the future, not only providing the more smart service in TV, but we hope that the TV can be the more major player, the more important on the whole IoT ecosystem. So again, so that's all my sharing today. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Hey, for your sharing. So I would like to invite all the audience over the internet, give a big hand to our three panel members. So with the sharing from Jonathan, Grace, and Hey just now, I believe some of our fellow audience may have some questions in mind. And so please don't hold back, and let us have a discussion with our panel speakers. And through the Q&A box, I have already received multiple questions already. So I would like to take a chance to ask some of our panel members right now. And so from Man Wei Yu, actually he has a question to Grace. And he asks any intention to make GWIN compulsory for all new government projects. So Grace, do you have any idea to share?
In fact, the government-wide IoT network, the original intent that we build this infrastructure is for EMSD own use. As I mentioned, we want to achieve the E&M 2.0 vision. We want to digitize our E&M system. That's why we try to see if LoRa or IoT technologies can help. And then later on, we find that this common infrastructure not only can serve EMSD, but in fact, we also serve other government departments. That's why we try to talk to our client departments and see whether this network can help them. So that's why we're focusing on discussing more with them, to collaborate with them and see what are the sensor demands they have, and we can make use of GWIN to serve them. Currently, it's on trial basis to develop the smart applications. Yeah.
So as one of the members from the industry, so if we would like to be the part of the GWIN, how to do? Is it like you mentioned that you have the portal that we can apply? So how to do that?
Yeah, in fact, the EMSD had an E&M portal is already available. You can find it from the internet, and then we post our INT wish to the portal so that everybody in the market can see what our INT wishes and demand, and if they have suitable sensor solutions that could be provided and matched with the INT wish, they can express interest on the E&M InnoPortal, and then this sensor solution may have potential to ride on GWIN. Then we can, based on GWIN, to conduct this trial with the INT partners.
Okay, so you are saying that if the company join the InnoPortal, the IT wish list, something like that, and EMSD will provide the guidance how we can get to know how to join the GWIN or the protocol, all the information.
Sure.
Is that right?
Sure, yes.
Okay, sounds good. So, if all the audience have any questions about GWIN or the InnoPortals, please feel free to ask. So I got another question from Nova Low. Okay, so actually this question is for three of our panel members. So what do you think about how IoT or AIoT could be applied in the textile and clothing industry? So I guess it is more like a consumer sector. So hey, do you have any idea about that?
I'm not sure is it I will mix this problem, this question AIoT to like industrial 4.0 because I think it's similar but not really same. But how can we push this kind of this kind of industry to like end-to-end human collected data by the customization to some single production. I think textile, this is one of direction for very good for textile to do it. And during this process, I can imagine many kind of like connectivity or the kind of connectivity ability will happen inside.
Okay, so his feedback is that actually for the textile and clothing industry, during the production line, during the production process, actually in the factory there are many chances to apply AI and IoT. For example, like put a sensor in the production line, grab the data, and then do the analytics by the AI or the learning, something like that, so that upgrade our factory to become the industry 4.0. Is that right?
Yeah, similar. My focus may be more like in how to make an end-to-end business by this kind of can say IoT, but connectivity.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good. So Grace, any idea from the government department side?
In terms of the technologies, I think IoT has the potential to help the textile industry. So, such as in a factory, we have some production line, and we can see how we can deploy suitable sensors to collect useful information, and then we do some data analytics to analyze the data and see how we can improve the operational efficiency.
I know that I know a news from the Hong Kong Science Park. They are going to have the building in the Zheng Kun O, which is more focused on the Industry 4.0. Will EMSD get a chance to support that project so that to help our industry to upgrade? And from the electrical document a couple days ago, I know that government also have a new funding for the Industry 4.0. So would you mind to share a little bit more about how EMSD play an important role for this?
I think we have been working very closely with Hong Kong Science Park. Just like I mentioned the Sensor Hub program, we install gateway at the Science Park. And I also know that they will have a new building in the Zheng Kun O area. We focus on the industry, the manufacturing side. And we are also exploring with Hong Kong Science Park for the potential to extend the Sensor Hub program to that new building.
Yeah. Sounds good. So Jonathan, regarding the AIoT application for the textile and clothing industry, do you have any feedback for us?
Well, I think as you mentioned early on, I mean the I4, the Industrial 4, the smart factory is one opportunity, and you can have all this kind of predictive stuff, And I think the other opportunities on the sensor, right? If you put some sensor, onto your clothing, and then this capture or collect data, and also process data, in the cloud computing, and then you can have some, interesting result.
Yeah.
So I think this is one of the opportunity.
Right.
In Hong Kong PC, I mean, a few years ago we had a project. Basically, it's a very simple project. I mean, just put a GPS module, doing the location positioning onto a shoe, and then this kind of application, for some mental disease patient, and to track and to trace where they are. And I think this kind of application for the textile and clothing can be one of the opportunities.
Yeah, very good, Jonathan. Actually, I would like to echo your points. I remember a couple of years back, I served as a judge for the startup competition. I did see multiple teams. They apply sensor technology in the textile, making some smart clothes to check the posture of the athletes. And also, recently I know one startup company, they do use the IoT technology for genotech, so that to help the elderlies to do some sport or related exercise. So I think that is one interesting area by using AI and IoT together to help our consumer to do a better job. So okay, I just received a couple more questions from the Q&A box. Jerry Tank, he said he believes the AIoT in textile and clothing will be much related with the health and sports. Okay, so echo my points earlier. It is similar to smartwatch. It might be niche at the beginning until further implementation taken place. So this is a good comment to our audience as well. And so I got another question from the audience. He would like to ask Grace, okay? Can Grace elaborate more on the details to provide interface for existing sensors, and any current projects are equipped with the interface for transferring data from existing sensors in the government project? Do you have some examples to share with us?
Yeah, sure. One example is the one I mentioned for the rain gauge application. Another one is that we're also working with some existing flow meter under the manhole in the street level. And then those flow meter we regard as existing sensor installations. They are right now connecting to data logger and make use of 4G or SIM card to do the data transmission. But right now, if we explore the use of GWIN, the LoRa technologies, then we need to figure out a way to collect those data from the data logger and transmit through the LoRa technologies. That's why we develop interface, and we see what type of standard interface are available at the data logger. And then we find that at last we use some pulse counter and some dry contact LoRa device to collect the information from the data logger and that device through the LoRa module and transmit the data back. So that's one example that we try to retrofit an existing sensor installation from the current data transmission using 4G to LoRa. And then the benefits is that they don't need to have subscription fee per sensor, because we based on LoRa, we build our own private network. We don't need to pay subscription fee, the network subscription fee for each sensor.
Right. So very good example. I think our audience will know more about, Grace mentioned about the NORA network. Actually, besides NORA, Grace also mentioned about NB-IoT and also Sigfox, something like that. So I think it is good for our audience to know more. And I got one more question from Chen Xing Zheng. Okay, people people are concerning about privacy, okay? So, in which it may affect the deployment of different services available in the 5G, IoT or future technology. How can it be overcome for this challenge? Jonathan, would you mind to share a little bit more?
Yeah, so, that's why in Hong Kong PC, we have a department, to provide consultation service for the data security. And we do agree that, privacy is one of the major concerns, and also, one of the major things that we need to take care of, especially when we are putting everything to the cloud, and we have to, keep that door closed and secure.
So, HKPC got this department to provide consultancy service. Would you mind to share one example how they help the industry companies to improve their privacy issue?
Well, there are lots of examples, because we have all these data security professionals, and they will come together and go with you to investigate your situation, what sort of application you are, and then to implement a security level onto whether it is a server, web server, or IoT application in a optimized cost. I think that's also very important, for the cost consideration. Yeah.
So I guess our audience, if you have any related demand of the help, then please feel free to contact HKTC. And it sounds like 5G is getting essential to the cloud computing and therefore the development of AIoT. What about edge computing, okay? And how does it supplement each other? So, Jonathan, do you have any idea about that, so that we can adopt the new technology of the edge computing?
Well, some people have concern, no matter whether it's data security or even the cost, when the application, uploading all the data to the cloud, and where something seems to be out of their control, and they have to pay subscription, every day, and this is one of their concern, and that's why, for this group of people, they prefer edge computing. I think for 5G application, both edge computing and also cloud computing are important.
Right.
It depends on what kind of application you are. Especially for example, like the smart factory. If you have a private 5G network, I believe cloud computing is beneficial or good for this kind of application. But if your server is somewhere far away, and you don't know where it's go inside the internet, in consideration of the latency and consideration maybe for some sort of data processing, do it on edge or in the local computational board, I think that's got some benefit.
Right. So Grace, as you mentioned, EMSD really adopt a lot of the NORA technology for the smart city IoT application. What about 5G and also the edge computing? Do you have any example to share with us how government or how EMSD adopt this new technology in your projects?
On edge processing, so one example that I gave in my presentation is the vibration sensor. In fact, that type of vibration sensor has the edge processing power to learn the vibration pattern. So it's really good to use it with the LoRa technology, because LoRa, the characteristic is in fact a low data rate.
Right.
With the with the edge processing, it only transmits the analyzed results, but not the full set of vibration data back to the back end.
Right.
So the demand to the traffic flow will be lower. So edge processing definitely works well with LoRa technologies and IoT. And on 5G, EMSD is also exploring trial at our EMSD headquarters, because our headquarters in fact is a test bed for different IoT solutions to try on. So 5G is definitely in our roadmap to have trial.
Right, that's pretty good. So hey, what about TCL? Any plan besides the TV box or the TV, and how can you apply the 5G and also the edge computing in your product line?
Okay, data security is very big topic in our company, right? By product side, we not only the mobile phone, also the TV, we are considering to put the 5G ability inside that to enhance many kind of service. And also our center have put a very big research on edge computing and especially the reinforcement learning.
Oh yeah.
This is this idea on mobile phone. We how to use the new this kind of new method to providing a new service, something like a recommendation, good recommendation function to the user, but we can protect the data, right? So I think this is one of a very good direction.
Right. It's very good that so among three speakers and in different sectors also aggressively adopt the new technology. And so I got some more questions, but for the audience, if you have any more questions or interesting topic, please feel free to share in the Q&A box, okay? So speaking of the smart application in the public sector, I have a question to Grace, okay? And what do you think about the balance of the data privacy and more connected and intelligent public service? Because many applications, the hackers, they are really advanced. Okay, so especially when government try to promote smart city and put a lot of sensors in our city and grab the information, and how can we secure those data not be grabbed by other people, or even though they grab the data and not able to know what's going on. So how can you handle this kind of data privacy issue?
In fact, for the adoption of GWIN, the LoRa technology in fact already have some built-in security protocol within this.
The encryption.
Yeah, the data encryption supported. So we want to ensure the data security on the transmission in an end-to-end basis. And then on deploying sensor, currently in fact there's no international standards to govern the design of sensors. That's why I know that IEEE there's a new standard coming up on the sensor standardization. So that will be a good trend, and the government will want to follow the international standards to secure our network, and also in terms of application, we want to ensure the end-to-end security. Right.
That's very good that we can have the new standard, international standard coming out, and then as the private sector like TCL, so for your own IoT network. How can you handle the data privacy issue? You also have your own encryption algorithm, or how can you do that?
I can just say we have a very big team working on that. Actually, a few years ago, our mobile phone had been tried to be attacked because we are very sensitive, because we are at a logic endpoint. But we can settle immediately in a very good way. So I still have confidence. I have very big confidence on our security team.
Yeah. Okay. Besides to define your own private encryption algorithm to protect your data, actually you also have a team that to get ready for any attack to fix this. Okay, that's even better.
Especially when we are launching mobile phone product. It's really easy to be attacked.
Yeah, very sensitive.
Yeah.
And you know the user base massive. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is good. So what about HKPC? So you serve a lot of government department, many public sector projects. So how can you deal with those data privacy?
Well, we have our own encryption algorithm, and I mean, as you have also mentioned, I mean, the more encryption, the more security you put inside, and the hacker, I mean, they have more way and they have more, you know, intelligent method to break it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a trade, or you know, between both sides, and get, you know, things more interesting.
So sounds good. So seems like different parties are very, you know, professional and have different way to handle this data privacy issue. And I hope to answer the audience question. So now I have one question from Freddy Leung, and he would like to ask how to deploy the technology to the building sector with safety concern of the worker at site. So last month I got some news from Chinwan. Okay, there are some worker job, and so this is some safety issue. So regarding the AIoT technology, how can we apply to the building sector to, you know, protect our worker? So this is free flow. So maybe anyone you would like to answer?
Well, for the construction site, for example, I mean, right now, I mean, even in Hong Kong, I mean, there's some application they are using, you know, the NB-IoT or, you know, just simply IoT inside a helmet, you know, so that this one can identify the worker position, you know, even to detect, you know, whether, I mean, anything dangerous happened to him.
Yeah.
But you know, as I mean, the audience may know, 4G is only a limited of application, and 5G got an advantage over it. This one is, you know, it's got a, you know, more, you know, even up to 1 million application at the same time. So this is one of the, you know, benefit or beauty of 5G on top of 4G for this kind of application. For sure, I mean, there's also other cellular 5G application for construction site. Also, as I, you know, presented in my PowerPoint, there's some automated machinery. They can do the job for human, and even, you know, do the job very intelligently and automatically without, you know, involvement of human. I think there's also opportunity for AIoT in building area.
Yeah. As I recall, in the May or June time, and EMSD, the InnoPortal, have one project is related to the bell for the worker. I guess this is related to the building sector. So Grace, would you mind to share with us what's going on about this wish list project? And I think this is more related to Betty's question.
Yes. In fact, around a few months ago, we have a conversation with the DEVB and see how we can make use of GWIN to support the construction site safety initiatives. And one of the applications we think about is the safety bell applications. We try to see if any solutions in the market to put some sensors on the existing type of safety bell and detect whether the workers go to some dangerous locations and whether they use the safety belt properly. And we try to see any sensor solution can gather this data and display on a management platform, providing some statistics and see which workers particularly not using safety belt when going to a dangerous zone. So these applications I think it's very useful, and we want to see if IoT can help on this part. And other than the work at height, this application, another simple use case for construction safety is that there are, in fact, in construction site, there are many, some opening to the lift shaft, or we have some electrical box. We don't want workers to unauthorized opening them. In fact, we can deploy some door sensors on those equipment box and those opening, and we use IoT network to collect those data and avoid making alert, providing alert on any unauthorized opening or of that equipment box. That could help on enhancing construction site safety as well.
Right. So I hope Fanny Leung can get the answers from our panel member. So I have one more question to our speaker, Hey. So while private sector is putting more R&D effort into AIoT, does it potential increase of the cost of the consumer electronics to the consumer? So TCL put a lot of R&D fund to develop many advanced technology application. So do you think finally the cost will, transfer back to the consumer?
Maybe, but I don't think this is a very serious problem because, as I mentioned, the third curve, every level, every status, the competition, finally will come up with result is the more quantitative. It means the first stage we can save more money in the latest status, even the first stage or second stage. So actually, it is a very, very well ecosystem. When we are well developed in the primary status, we can have some more resources to develop the second battlefield and finally the third battlefield. Finally, I think this is the total investment and cost, and finally is a user expenses. It's not a very big effect.
Right.
On the other hand, this is not like a commercial company just like to do it. It is a must because the whole world is changing. The portability have to be enhanced, so we have to do it, and we have another strategy to control the cost.
Right. So as the design director of TCL Corporate Research, and how can you balance the advanced technology and the user experience, user interface? How can you make a balance for that? Some people think that, okay, trying something new is high-tech, higher, and trying something low and will be earn much more. So what do you think about that as a design director?
So that's a good question because I'm actually the user experience team lead.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have a big argument with R&D person because we think technology is not cannot beyond the user need. User experience is very important, and to satisfy the user need, the user experience, actually is not only one way on AI. And sometimes even we are working on AI area, we can use we can stick on some more smart method, more than like we are pushing some algorithm accuracy to 0.1 increasing, So user experience is a very important part. I think is in the implementation of AI, and it become more and more be aware nowadays.
Okay, thanks so much. We have a great discussion just now. Once again, thank you so much for Jonathan, Grace, and Hey for your sharing and the discussion just now. And if you are interested in more tech-related event, don't forget to check out the HKTDC Summer Source Weeks Go Online. Once again, I would like to thank all speakers and Jonathan, Grace, and Hey, and all of you and our online friends for joining us today. And we look forward to meeting you soon on the HKTDC Summer Sourcing Weeks Go Online webinars and more upcoming HKTDC trade fair. Thank you so much and see you soon. Thanks a lot. So if you like our event, please keep on following us. Thank you.